Hey, so the PGL Major started a ton of drama about this jump bug and whether it should exist, and it shouldn't in its current form, but it hasn't existed for as long as people seem to be saying on forums like Reddit, where people have said, "Oh, I've been doing this for years. Oh, I didn't know this was a problem," um, and just silly things like that. Because this hasn't existed for years. It's really only existed for about a 9-month period at most. Um, and I'm going to sort of walk you through the history of how the jump bug kind of came to be. Um, so there was an issue with the landing animation when you jumped, and this caused unfair peaks such as this, where Forrest is boosting on a teammate's head. Nico can't see his head because of the jumping, the full animation, and Forrest can see him clear as day. That's not intuitive to gameplay, and so it was patched. Valve came out with a beta client. They tried to more accurately line up your first person model and your third person model, so that everybody was on an equal playing field. Fantastic. However, in the beta branch, there was an issue with jumping and crouching, where if you jumped and you crouched in midair, you'd get flung to the ground, and you could do stupid stuff like this, where it just doesn't have a place in the game. There's really no point. They patch that out, and then they update it with this live patch where you could self boost, and that was a fantastic week of Counter-Strike. Oh god, it was hilarious, and lots of YouTubers make videos about it. Launders has a video. A bunch of other people will have the videos, I'm sure. You also could not silent fall or silent jump. They removed it with the patch because you got locked in a crouch when you were in midair, or if you crouched at all during a jump, and your view wouldn't go any higher than your third person character, which is good in the context of this current jump bug. And so they fixed the double jumping, and they fixed the ability to silent jump. Awesome. I think silent jumping should exist in the game. That's great, but it should accurately reflect what your character can see. And this correctly represents what your character can see when he's crouching, jumping, and then uncrouching, similar to how the current jump bug works. But because your model is going so much higher than is intended, and when you're uncrouching, it's sort of jumping up. This caused another set of issues where people would be able to glitch themselves into ridiculous places, and you wouldn't be able to get out, and it would just look stupid. And when Valve patched that out, they didn't change the first person view of what you were able to see when you uncrouched. So your third person character was no longer an accurate representation of where, like, your third person character wasn't an accurate representation of what your first person character could see. And so this whole problem has kind of gone full circle, where it's suddenly not a fair fight in the current state of the game, when it all started at this unfair fight because of an animation. So I hope that's informed you a little bit, and stop acting like it's been in the game for years. It really hasn't.